Yeah, there's only one question to be asked at this point is it bad enough yet? Uh, we've got Anthony and I decided to hop on tonight to discuss the attempted assassination attempt on former President Donald J. Trump tonight. And I, Anthony messaged me, says, "Hey, we need to talk about this." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's definitely something we need to talk about." So we decided to do a live tonight. I haven't even changed it in my work clothes. I don't think he has either, but there's definitely something going on here. And I'm concerned. I've been watching and reading through a lot of the tweets and things and the different messages coming up and seeing how people are reacting to this. And it's a wide variety of reactions. So it looks like Anthony's with us. So we will bring him up here. There we go.
Oh, hang on. There we
You
go.
were hanging out sideways. There you go.
Yeah, I
So
had to get the camera situated while I was sharing out links, but
So what is up, buddy? Let's just jump in. So
yeah,
clearly, if anybody's been, unless you've been under a rock, you already know what's going on or has happened. I heard about it. The first I heard about it was through kind of whispers. I was like, it was kind of questions that I saw pop up on my Twitter feed, and has
yeah.
was that shots? Did somebody hear? Something like that. I didn't know what it was about. It was a lot out of context. But then I kind of just forgot about it when I'm on about my day because I don't really pay that close attention to what's going on. And then you messaged me later on stating, "Hey, Donald Trump was shot." I'm like, "Wait,
Mhm.
what?" So how did you hear about it first? Like, what went through your head when you heard about it?
Well, I didn't find out. Actually, Becky is the one that told me. I was getting prepped to do some grilling on our Blackstone tonight. I was doing some smash burgers and I was getting everything prepped for that. And then we were waiting on our folks to show up, and I was sitting down. And as soon as I sat down, Becky showed me her phone and it said that there has been an assassination attempt. Now, what is interesting is you go to the actual legacy media websites and it was all pops and bangs and noises. Nobody actually said it was gunshots when clearly it was. So I was a little confused as to what was going on because the media was saying one thing, and then I'm over here on X and it's people are talking about assassination attempt, and I'm like, okay. I think CNN said that Trump had fell. Washington Post said that there was some loud, I think, what was it, loud noises.
Mhm.
Well, of course, you're at a rally. I'm or at a rally, not rally, at a rally. So there's going to be some loud noises. But the fact that the mainstream media didn't want to report this as such was very alarming. And I that's why I was confused as to what was going on, because sometimes you do need to get your news sources from the mainstream, but clearly after today, no, it's ridiculous, dude. So I mean, it's going to tap into what we're going to cover, but yeah, I was in the process of getting things prepped to grill, and next thing I know, it's all over the news, it's all over my socials, and um, I got sucked into the video like everybody else, and turning on every network I could find to find more information, and we're still trying to process what had happened. Unfortunately, a gentleman lost his life. He was shot in the head. A rally, so attendee, and I think two others were critically injured. So my thoughts and prayers, as we conservatives like to say during tragic times, are obviously with their families. So.
For sure.
But yeah, this is just one of those days, man, where you're always gonna say, "Well, where were you on that day?" And that's one of them, unfortunately.
I'm so tired of having those days in my lifetime. 9/11, COVID. It's
Yeah,
like it's just nonstop. You were mentioning that the news headlines that people are
yeah,
posting,
mhm,
different. So I got this tweet from our former guest of the show, Alice Vaughn. She posted a couple screenshots, and it seems like here lately, over the last few years, especially after COVID, she's been a little more right leaning than she previously was, in my opinion. I don't know if you've
I
seen.
would say I would say she's more center. I mean, than liberal. I think she
Yeah,
still has a
yeah,
lot of liberal in her, but I think she's kind of fallen down more of the center, which is good to see. I had the
Yes.
opportunity to meet her and her husband a couple years ago when they were in town in Nashville. So she's a great person. And it just goes to show somebody as conservative as I am, a Trump supporter, and somebody that isn't, and at that time very much a liberal.
If I
We got along great. So
if I get this thing looking half decent on here, so where's a good spot to put this thing? So
that's
anyway,
fun right there.
she says totally normal headlines for an assassination attempt, and you see the Associated Press here. Uh, it says breaking: Donald Trump has been escorted off the stage by Secret Service during a rally after loud noises ring out in the crowd. What? Like, I mean, seriously,
Eh,
this is such an irresponsible use of your power as the AP, like the AP of all places.
yeah.
I've grown to recognize the AP as more just straight out with the facts, but it seems like here lately it's just gotten worse and worse. And what's this? ABC News? They say live: Trump rushed off stage after disruption at rally. That's
Yeah.
pathetic. That is disgusting.
I had a little bit of glimmer of hope for the mainstream media when they started to actually call Biden, um, incompetent after the debate. They started to come around and admit that to the general public after the years of lying to us, saying no, he's fine. I thought, okay, well, there might be a little glimmer of hope for the media to start coming around and telling the truth. But then when this shit happens, it's like you guys just went right back into the crap that you normally post anyways. And so this is, if you wanted to depict a headline like this was probably the worst time in the worst event to sit there and post headlines like this. If you
Yeah.
wanted the general public to get behind you and support you as a media company, and you go about it this way, no, this was the worst time when eyes from all over the world, almost as big as the debate, if not bigger, are looking at what happened here. And a lot of people are saying, okay, what is this with the media? Why are they talking like this? What's this kind of garbage? Anybody with an IQ level above a 10 can tell you that this was gunshots. I don't understand why they're having such a hard time with this. But then I have to remember this is the same media who called for political violence along with the Democratic Party against Donald Trump and his supporters. So I'm not too surprised, but you
Yeah.
would think that politics would fall to the wayside when you're talking about the assassination attempt of a former president, and then a rally attendee was killed. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing here, man? Put the politics on the back burner for a second.
Yeah,
You
give it
know,
20 minutes. Give it 20 minutes, like, Jesus Christ, let it stew for just a minute. Let people kind of process it for a second, but they're so quick to, like, tell people, "Hey, this is what you should think about this," or, "Hey, don't nothing to see here, folks. Don't worry about that," and they use this, like, flowery, light language to try to
yeah.
get people's minds off of it, or try to distract people from what actually happened, or, why can't you just call a spade what a spade is? Like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, it's no different than the school shooting here in Nashville, and when they wouldn't release the manifesto from the shooter because they knew it didn't fit the narrative that they were going for. Well, of course, then we find out later on it was a trans person who went into one of the schools here in Nashville and shot up a bunch of kids. So that doesn't fit the narrative of the Democrats, and that to the Democrats would have been ammunition for the conservatives to come back and say, "Look, there is a real issue here with this party. It needs to be addressed. Look how crazy and psychotic these people are, and this is what you want to support." No, the Democrats didn't want that behind them for that to come out, and that just would have been a black eye on their party. So
Yeah, I thought this just for a little levity. This tweet by Jeremy Kaufman says people are acting like Trump's reaction is so impressive, but if someone shot at Joe Biden, he wouldn't even flinch.
I
Damn,
think Joe Biden
that's good
probably
comedy.
just well, I think Joe Biden probably would have turned and would have said something like, "You ain't black if you don't vote for me," or some shit like that if he would have had that situation happen to him.
It's
But
good comedy there. My friend Alaska Bird says, "I never cry. This got me. I'm scared for Trump, but mostly for America." And I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like, as I'm kind of processing what's going on, like, I teared up a little bit too, and I don't usually let my emotions get in the way of, what I just don't. And it's for some reason I'm watching this and I'm concerned not so much for, like, Trump, which, yes, that's terrible, but I'm concerned for my family. I'm concerned for my community. I'm concerned for what is going to happen in the next few days in the aftermath of this is really what
Right.
started me thinking about it. Got me thinking about during COVID when everybody freaked the fuck out and they started buying up all of the toilet paper. And we were just shelves running dry from people panic buying. Uh, I even had thoughts maybe I need to go to run to the store myself and just buy a few things to make sure we're buttoned up for the next coming storm. I don't know what in the hell to expect for the next few days, but I don't want to panic either. I don't want to. It's I'm in a weird spot because I'm like, how do you process this? How do you prepare for this if there is a this to prepare for? If that makes sense.
No, it does, and something that I've noticed with this situation over the last couple of hours, you've got two reactions. You got your reaction, and then you got the reaction of people that are pissed off. Saw this coming a mile away. Been telling people this is going to happen for the last couple of years. When you've got the Democrats, the media, celebrities, anybody that is a public figure, Kathy Griffin, these are people. Kathy Griffin was the one responsible for holding up the Trump head that was severed. Um, who does that? It's Democrats. It's your liberals. They have called for this violence. They have called single-handedly everybody from The View, everybody from MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC, everybody has called for violence against the MAGA Republic. Biden just said that during his debate. He just said that not too long ago. He's got ad campaigns that said, put Trump in the bullseye. You can't expect the conservatives to sit back any longer. I'm not one to sit here and
Sure, what's
promote
going on
and
with the connection
insinuate violent
here?
towards the other. Is it me?
Give me just a moment, sir, as we reestablish connection here. Okay, there he is. Let's pop him back in here. Okay. It appears we lost you there for a moment.
No, that's fine. So what I was saying was is
You were
that,
mentioning about Kathy Griffin, and I went ahead and brought up the head of her holding up Donald Trump's bleeding head.
like when you have a presence on social media, okay, and you have an X amount of followers, a very large following, the same thing goes for the old bags over on The View. This goes for all the people in the media, even our politicians. When you have a large following and you post shit like this, what do you think you're telling people? What do you think you're inciting here? Now,
Well,
if we go to the Capitol, don't
yeah.
kill anybody. People were just like leisurely walking in. There was a woman who actually walked in and said a prayer, and she's spending time in prison. That's not okay. But then this bitch right here has the audacity to do that. And now you're wondering why we're in this current state of affairs that we're currently in right now with the assassination of Trump. It's because of bitches like this who need to go to jail. That needs to go to jail. Fuck freedom of speech. Fuck everything else. People are so mentally fucked up right now in the head because where we're at in our society. And when you do stuff like this, it's going to take one crazy asshole to go out there. And this is the second attempt on Trump. This isn't the first one. The second one, I think it was a kid from another country that tried to pull a gun on a cop during one of his rallies to shoot Trump, and it never worked. He never got past the cop, thankfully. But when the Democrats keep pushing this narrative about MAGA supporters and this and that, I mean, what do you think you're doing to your base? The blood is sincerely on their hands.
So
And
I learned this term from the left, actually, called stochastic terrorism. I'd never heard this on the right. And the left talks about it all the time. When I hear it on their podcast, they talk about stochastic terrorism, and that is the idea that if you continue to talk about something enough times, reaching enough people, say you kind of mention, certain buzzwords to signal to your followers, perhaps that something should happen to this person. I'm trying to talk around it, but you get what I'm saying.
yeah,
Um, that maybe you say certain words that could be misconstrued or some kind of a dog whistle to uh, and if somebody hears those things and they decide to go take action and they decide to go, I don't know, try to assassinate a president, um, they're arguing that that's stochastic terrorism, that you should also be held responsible for it. And that's what they were trying to hold Trump accountable for, because anything that, he said, apparently, because, his followers, his crazy followers would hear him say something, and then that would trigger them to go actually take action and try to cause something to happen. And we saw it actually happen. We saw, somebody actually go out and do it. I'm sure they were probably brainwashed. I don't know anything about this individual as of yet, but I'm pretty sure they were brainwashed to the point where they thought this guy is literally Hitler. And then you see things like Biden on this screenshot here told donors it was, quote, time to put Trump in the bullseye.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a single person use the word stochastic terrorism in regards to this message, even though you and I know that's not inciting violence. But if anybody on the right would have said it, they would have said that is inciting violence. He was calling for the death. No, no, absolutely not. And I don't hold Biden any more accountable for this than Trump was accountable for saying things that made his followers do stuff, apparently. I wanted to show you this tweet here as well. Let me find it one more time. Comic Dave Smith says, speaking of that, how the fuck could you say he's literally Hitler and the democracy is on the line, but we wish him a speedy recovery and political violence is never acceptable?
Yeah, that's weird to me, man.
If you've been saying any of
Like,
that shit, then at least it have the integrity to admit that this is the logical conclusion of your lies. And that is such a cogent point that, like, you always hear this question, like, hey, what if this was Hitler? What if, would you kill Hitler in the crib if you had the chance? And then if everybody's convinced that Trump is literally Hitler, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised even in the least, because we would probably do the same. Yeah.
yeah, I can remember back early on, a lot you have a lot of these YouTubers that go around college campuses and they ask their opinions, of Biden and of course Obama and then of course, Trump. And I can't remember who he was off the top of my head, but they were asking, you got three different presidents, you got Biden, Obama, and Trump. Which one would, closely, be affiliated to Hitler? And every single one of them said Trump. These are kids that are currently in college. This is what is being pushed onto our youth. These are going to be the same ones that are, that are going to go out and vote. These are the same ones that will think that it's okay to put Trump in a bullseye and try to take him out. That's my point. I mean, I don't think, now I could be wrong and you'd have to go back and fact check it, but I don't think that Trump has ever called for Biden or, Trump supporters to be put in a bullseye. I can
No, no.
remember,
There's just
uh,
things that he says that they misconstrue or they take out of context to make it sound like that's what he's saying, and that's you and I know that's bullshit.
wasn't it Maxine Waters? I could be wrong. Wasn't she the one that said we gotta kick them when they're down, or was that what's his name?
I think it was
Um,
Maxine,
Yeah,
in and
Maxine sat there with, what was it, a megaphone, and she was telling us, or telling people to go after Trump supporters and the MAGA Republic, anybody wearing a MAGA hat. We saw the violence towards people with MAGA hats from the left. And it's
yeah.
like, at what point are conservatives actually going to push back? Like, what are they going to do? Because
Man,
this shit is
I
the
don't.
same fucking thing day in and day out, year by year. Conservatives are just like, oh, we should pray and we should do this and do that. Don't resort to violence. And I'm thinking, it's was this not enough to put you into that spot to think, okay, maybe we ought to do something? The guy that we're supposed to be supporting was about taken out within millimeters, and the Republican Party has just been sitting back like, oh, it's no big deal. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you can't reason with the Democrats. You cannot have a reasonable conversation with Democrats anymore. You can't
Well,
convince me of that. Not after
as
today.
as of this event, I don't think anybody is going to be able to reason with Republicans either. I'm concerned. I don't know what's going to happen because we know what people are capable of. We know that. Let
I
me
would
let me
go ahead.
go ahead. I was just
Oh
gonna
no,
play.
I was just going to say, do you imagine the summer of love back in 2020 and all the
Oh
riots
yeah,
and all the fires that were started by the Democrats? And
how can I forget?
January 6th, that's all we fucking listen to. That's all we hear about. That's all we hear about. That's it. January 6th, January 6th, worse than Pearl Harbor. That came from Vice President Trump. It's like, I mean, how far do we have to go with this for Republicans to actually stand up for themselves, stand up for the people they want to elect into office before everybody winds up dead or behind bars? Like that's what's going on. The Democrats are actually doing this in real time. And the conservatives are like, well, I got to go to work tomorrow. I can't go out here and do this shit. All right, dude, go to work. But I don't want to hear you bitching about how things are in the world right now when your ass is going to sit on the couch and not do a fucking thing. That's what's going on. And I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying do something rather than nothing at all. And that's what a lot of conservatives are doing. They're just like, well, man, I got to go to work tomorrow. I got a family to take care of.
Wouldn't it be
What's your
nice if
fucking point, dude? What's your point? What's your point?
wouldn't
You're
that
gonna
be
lose
nice?
your country because I'm gonna go home and sit on the
Yeah.
couch and I'm gonna sit here and watch TV and I'm not gonna do nothing. Well, you go ahead and do nothing. But I don't
Well,
want to hear you bitching about the state of the world or especially the state of the United States is currently in. I
I'm
am
gonna play
so fed up
here.
with this shit, dude. And I don't want to hear from this old fucker. Let me tell you something. This old piece of shit is not even our president. That's the Obama campaign running this shit. That's
Well,
what that is. It's a goddamn puppet
there's a
show.
reason. There's a reason I'm playing it. And you'll notice some
But what
things.
reason is that, Daniel? There's no reasons to play it. There's none. We know what he's going to say. It's not
I
anything
I
he's written.
I have a reason to play it, and I'll explain it in a minute.
Go
Just
ahead.
listen. Listen to what he doesn't say. Listen to what he doesn't say. That's the important thing. We're listening for the dog not barking. Okay.
He doesn't say
President, do you
shit
think this was an
anyways.
assassination attempt?
So, I don't know if you heard that. The question was,
Do you
would
think it
you?
was an assassination attempt?
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're loading in. Yeah. So did I break it? Apparently, I broke it.
Do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to, I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
President,
So, like,
You
even
were the fucking
let's
Go
say
ahead.
he did call it an assassination attempt. I don't think anybody would have blamed him if we did find out some weird extra information and the next day he says, hey, turns out we were wrong. It wasn't actually that. It was this. But at least you could like call it what it is, or at least what it plainly looks like to everybody else. Lord knows you've been calling out everything else. Like, holy crap. That pisses me off because
You mean to tell me the most powerful man in the country that has got access to anything that he wants, he didn't know within the first hour of what happened?
apparently not. Apparently not.
Ah, come on, man. I mean, dude, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the shit that I'm fucking tired of.
Yeah.
And people often say, "Oh, well, we need to talk to the other side. We need to try to, get along with the other side." No, I tell you what, I used to be a supporter of that because of this show, and I kind of skewed my views a lot to want to meet people halfway. No, I don't want to have anything to do with Democrats. I don't. I want nothing to fucking do with them, whether they're friends or family. I don't want nothing to do with them. I rather live in my own echo chamber around people that value my values and opinions that line up with theirs. I don't want nothing with that side of the party. I don't give a shit who you are. That's how far this situation has pushed me over to that edge. I mean, at what point do we just say enough is enough? I mean, come on, man. I mean, it's just like, get your fucking head out of your ass, people. Look what's going on around in the world. Inflation. People can't support their families anymore. And it's just like, okay, well, what are we going to do? We're just going to vote in Trump into office and that's going to fix everything. No, it's not. It's not. It's not going to fix a goddamn thing. That the price inflation has always gone up. It's never come back down ever in the lifetime and history of the United States of America or the world has the prices ever come back down below where they were at or in comparison to what they were years ago. It's never happened. The prices of everything have always gone up. The only problem is that our pay is staying stagnant while everything else goes up. That's the problem that we're currently running into right now. And statistics have shown that, and that there's plenty of data to prove it. So it's just I don't know, man. I don't like this place, and it's not conservatives, it's not Democrats, it's people, dude. It's everybody's caught up in their fields like I am right now. And where does that get us? It get us nowhere. And for the longest time, you and I have tried to have discourse and conversations with these people, and look how they've turned. It's not changed anybody's minds. It's not fixed anything. It's made things worse. Why? Because the people that are more popular than us, like Kathy Griffin, sitting here holding up Donald Trump's head, that it's been severed off. She's got a further reach than we do. Think about that, dude. I mean,
sure.
that has more influence over what you and I have to say and talk about.
I think reason's been gone, long gone. We originally started the show as an attempt to have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations, even that people weren't having, and we knew they weren't having. And the more we try, the less of them we actually have, because nobody wants to come on the show and actually talk. I've invited so many people that I disagreed with to come on the show. I'm sure you've done the same. And it's like,
yeah,
crickets. Nobody wants to talk anymore. Nobody has
No.
wanted to talk for at least 2 years. Nobody's wanted to talk. I mean, we at least got a few people on before. And
I
it
mean,
might have been
what are we doing here, dude? I mean,
it might have been a lack of trying on our part as well, because I mean, it's not like we've been reaching out as much as we used to. I mean, I know we've been busy and whatnot, but it's kind of it feels pointless to try when you're constantly you're battling against a professional grade level propaganda machine. How do you combat that?
you can't, dude. I am the MAGA Republic that you hear Joe Biden, that motherfucker, talk about day in and day and night in speeches that he gives, if he can coherently actually get them in order. I mean, this is what AOC talks about. This is what all these other people who influence the population tell us, that we're the evil people. We're the scum of the earth. We're white supremacists. Fuck you, dude. No, we're not. You got more blacks, racist motherfuckers out here in this goddamn world than you do whites. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. You got more blacks that are racist than whites, and you know it. That shit pisses me off, dude. And then for them to sit there and say that, oh, all the MAGA republics are racist and Trump's Hitler, you're fucking stupid, dude. You're fucking stupid. I swear to God, dude. It's like, I'd love to. I better calm down, dude.
It is. Yeah. I'm trying to keep a cooler head here.
No, dude. Cool heads aren't going to prevail this time, because that shit is long gone for me. Like, I don't even give a fuck anymore, dude. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what people have to say about me being a Republican. I mean, it doesn't matter, I'm telling you, dude. This situation, if the Democrats and the liberals really thought that the MAGA Republic was that bad, man, y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's going to get back into that White House. That's what you did today. You solidified that man's position to become the next president of the United States.
100%.
I'm not one. I'm not going to call for violence, but I guarantee you there's a lot of Republicans out there that have been sitting by idly, biting their tongue, and just, hey, I've given a lot of grace. I've given fucking 3.5 years of grace towards these motherfuckers. Time's up. Time's up. That's all I'm saying, dude. Hey, and then you know what? Media's going to come back and say, well, we told you that this is how they were. You goddamn right. You goddamn right, because we're tired of it. We're fucking sick and tired of it. Sometimes in society, you need the pendulum to swing back the other way. We're here, baby. We are living it in the flesh. Welcome. Shit is going to get really funky between now and election time. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
That's the part. That's the part I'm concerned about, because I don't. I know what the right is capable of if pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, which they have been, and I don't blame them. And at the same time, like you said, they're going to come back and they're going to say, "Hey, we told you they were crazy. We told you they were crazy."
And at that point, we're going to tell you, we don't give a fuck. We don't care no more.
I think you're just seeing a lot of the same thing where people are already going, well, you've been calling me racist, so I guess fuck it. I guess I am. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I can't combat against it. You've declared that I am this. You've declared that I'm that.
Yeah,
Why? I guess I'm also that violent as well. I don't know what the hell. Uh, I'm really concerned, and I just want to make sure that my family is taken care of in the middle of it all, because whatever's going to happen. I don't know what that is, and
Republicans have nothing to lose anymore. We don't.
Yeah. Shit. I want to read this tweet by Carpe Donctum. Said this wasn't an incident. This wasn't a scare. This wasn't an interruption. This wasn't a loud noises. This wasn't injured. Trump didn't collapse. Trump wasn't hurt. Donald J. Trump was shot at a rally in an assassination attempt. Words matter. Call it what it is.
Yeah.
You guys have had no problem. I would add to his tweet. You guys have had no problem calling us racist. You've had no problem calling us bigots. You've had no problem calling us every other name in the book. So you're clearly very good at calling what it is in your mind. Why can't we also call this? Why do we have to make up extra words for this or try to talk it down and make it something it's not? Even Caitlin Bennett, I've been kind of following her for a while. She said, I've sat on the sidelines quietly enjoying family life these past 2 or 3 years, but today changes things. Time to get back in the game. She's been trying to, have her family. She just recently had a baby, and I think a second one. I'm not sure. I know for sure she had a baby. So Travis Wright from the Bad Crypto podcast says that that's the most iconic political photo I've seen in years. Leftists can't seem to win without cheating the ballot, so they opt for the bullet. The deep state fails again, and Trump gets stronger. And whoever took that photo, kudos. That's a very, very good photo.
Yeah, that's going to be one to remember. That's for sure.
That has what's that with the soldiers pushing up the flag at Iwo Jima?
Yeah.
It has vibes of that. And I think there's going to be a lot of people. I think you'll see tomorrow a bunch of side-by-side comparisons to that exact statue. I really think we're going to see a lot of that. What do you think is going to happen in the next few days? Because I know what would probably happen had this shooter been successful. That's even more scary.
If the shooter was successful, this would have been a blown out, full on civil war between Democrats and Republicans. Guaranteed. I have no doubt in the back of my mind that the Republic would have revolted. This would have been on a scale that nobody has ever seen since the Civil War itself. I honestly believe we're that close. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen in the near future, but if Trump would have been assassinated today, guaranteed, we would have woken up over the next week and this would have been just bad all the way around. I firmly believe that. And a lot of people that I've spoken with today firmly believe that too. It's just not just me. I remember we did a show a couple of years ago, and I told the audience then, and I'll say it again: you keep poking this bear that is the Republican Party. That bear eventually is going to snap back at you, and here we are. I said that literally, I think 2 years ago. That might have been back during COVID, or even before that. And funny enough, man, here we are. It's like
Yep.
it's almost like our channel has turned into some sort of time machine that we saw things as they were happening. We were one of the first podcasts that broke COVID. You even said to plan accordingly. And we also talked about the possible guarantees of inflation back when they were handing out all these stimulus checks. We were printing so much money at that time, and we're still printing money for Ukraine, which is a shit show.
And if my timing's correct, these major effects that happened through the economy, we haven't even felt the effects of the stimulus checks yet, because it takes about six or 7 years for that stuff to fully permeate the system. From what I understand, and if that's true, we haven't seen the results of that yet. We haven't seen the results of all of the extra printing going on even right now.
I mean,
Twitter for Phil Williams. He's always got something interesting to say.
Anybody in the comment section? I want to know. I feel like yelling at somebody. Come on, give me.
Republicans in the comments. The assassination attempt on Democrats who called Donald Trump a threat to democracy. Of course, Trump has repeatedly said, "You're not going to have a country anymore if Joe Biden is reelected." That Biden is the real threat. Okay. Also, Trump posts video with image of a hogtied Biden drawing a rebuke from Democrats campaign. I don't know. Pronouns are not anymore. Okay, I'm not going to scroll down. Reveal that image. Let's see some comments here. If anybody has.
Reveal what image? Is that the image of the shooter?
Yeah. I don't want to pop that up. Chance getting
Yeah, they'll take us down for that. So
shut down. Anyway, let me close
these
out of that.
comments on our live feed at the moment.
No, I'm looking for it right now. Give me a moment to get to it. Sorry, I'm trying to click all of the buttons all at once. Let me
No, I got you.
head over to the YouTubes. I haven't brought up any of them yet, so and no, I don't want to sign in there. Let me come over here. Let me do YouTube. Let me bring up Rumble. Okay. My channels. Okay. Good Lord. I'm trying to click some buttons. I got one viewer over here.
Oh, it is kind of late.
Yeah, and we don't really go live that much.
No.
Let me see YouTube, see where we're at on that. Anyway, I'm sure people will watch this in rerun tomorrow. 10 watching right now on YouTube. And let me pause that. Okay, I got 2 likes. Hey, if you're watching over there, help me out by hitting that like button if you don't mind. As far as comments, I don't see any as of yet. That could have just not
fine.
in,
Yeah.
or people are real quiet.
Well,
but anyway,
yeah. They probably see my rant. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch that right now. Maybe when it cools down.
No, it's all good. I'm looking
But
over here.
I think a lot of that frustration you could probably find throughout the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of people get on to me for, why are you talking down to Republicans? Well, I mean, I'm a Republican too, but I'm not one to idly sit back either. There's a lot of things that I've done in my community to help change things, and I see it all the time, dude. I mean, it's just I'm not telling Republicans to go out there and start acting like fools and loot and steal and burn buildings down and shit like that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you got to really put the pressure on, get these people out of office, man. I mean, I don't care who it is or what you got to do, but get them the fuck out of office. I mean, if they're Democrats, get rid of them. I mean, and it's funny, it's because the Republicans suck at trying to do this sort of thing, but the Democrats are always well organized. I've always found that rather interesting. But
it's funny. They say the exact same thing about Republicans. They say we're never organized. All right. So if you don't, let's see, we can only. Oh, I have a comment, but I can't see it because it's too. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so Sean Henry on YouTube says we can only try to calm fellow patriots.
For the most part, I am, but I'm like everybody else. I've got my emotions that are tied up in this just as much as anybody else's, because we know what's at stake here, and it's hard not to get emotional about that. Republicans, for as long as I can remember, have always tried to be the ones to hey, let's sit down and have a conversation, or let's try to have a debate about this. But the progression of this has been coming for so long. We are here. It's the welcome wagon has now arrived, and it took the actual attempt of an assassination on a former president for us to get here. It should have never gotten here. That's my point. Nobody was doing any firing. Nobody was doing any protesting outside of CNN, outside of MSNBC. Nobody was calling for the firing of these people. They are responsible for the destruction that you're seeing currently in our society. They have divided us for so long. Like, what is it going to take for people to actually understand that? That's what irritates the shit out of me. It's in reality, if you go outside for the most part in your neighborhood or your community, you're going to get along with everybody. It is not the picture that is painted that you see up in our government. It's not. For the most part. Go ahead.
Here's an interesting comment. Sorry to interrupt. Gary Abbott on YouTube says, "You mean carefully rehearsed attempted assassination?" Have you heard these? I've heard the conspiracy theories
too. Are we really going to go down to conspiracy theory? There was a gentleman behind Trump that was fucking shot in the head, dude. Get your fucking conspiracy theory shit
Yeah,
out the goddamn door.
that shit.
This is not. I'm not going there, dude.
No,
I got no time
they
for this
give the
bullshit.
they give right wing conspiracy theorists such a hard time when every time these new events come out, people are like, "Oh, well, that was suspicious."
I'm
How
not.
can you
No,
say
no.
that?
I'm not doing this shit with these people. You can get
This
the
is the
fuck
left
off
wing
this
does
channel
that.
because I'm not going to listen to this shit. I'm not going to listen to it, dude. There was a
Holy
gentleman
crap,
behind
bro!
Trump that was shot in the head. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Get your fucking head right, dude. I mean, a dude died. Collateral damage, absolutely. But come
yeah.
on. I mean, a conspiracy theory. Fuck, dude. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, now, now, is he talking about somebody that was actually within the Biden administration, the DOJ or FBI? Absolutely.
No,
I could
no,
actually see
yeah.
that. I can
I
see
think
it. I mean, but
he
as
was
far as
saying that
like,
Trump was the one actually trying to make it appear like that's so ridiculous and so far outside the realm of even possibility right now. It doesn't even comport with
no, I'm
reality.
not going there with conspiracy theories and others bullshit. And no, I mean, first of all, in my opinion, for what I've seen and the way that the shot was taken, this
Yeah,
was somebody that was an expert at what they were doing. I mean, he came very close to killing Donald Trump.
yeah,
That is somebody with some kind of marksmanship. I'm sorry, that had to have been what 125 yards out, maybe a little bit
yeah.
closer, further.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Have they showed where it took place?
Yeah, they have. He was on top. He was, and here's the other thing too is that now he might be right as far as the conspiracy theory, as far as the way this was handled, because there was a gentleman who kept pointing at the guy up on the roof and telling telling the Secret Service and telling people that there was somebody up there, and within a matter of 4 or 5 minutes. Nobody responded to that. Like, how did this happen? Like, how did we get to this point where there's a direct line of shot to the former
Yeah,
president?
somebody's
Like
getting fired for
somebody
sure.
was dropping the ball somewhere. And
Yeah.
do you want to go conspiracy theory as far as what? And what this guy was asking? Like, is he talking conspiracy theory as in like JFK kind of shit, or are
No,
we
no,
talking
he's
conspiracy
talking
theory as in what?
he's talking conspiracy theory as in Donald Trump himself or his team staged it so that he could get more support. Like I don't really think he's the one struggling for support at this particular time and place. That
Is
doesn't
that
even
what that gentleman said in the comments? Is that what he said?
he said you mean carefully rehearsed attempted assassination.
Rehearse. No, no. Why? Why the fuck would you do that?
No,
I mean,
I
look
don't
at Donald Trump's support after the debate. It went through the fucking roof. He doesn't need it. I mean, what is that, man? I mean, come on. Everybody knows that after the debate, he gained a huge popularity and a huge following, especially through Gen Z's population as well. He's picking up a lot of those people too. So to say that
yeah.
this was no, I'm not
On that
playing. I am not entertaining that. No.
on that subject, we got Christopher Kennedy. He says, "I'm pissed that security left a vantage point open right outside the
Yes,
venue."
that's what we were just talking about. Yes.
So he was outside the venue. I haven't got the latest updated information just yet because I
Yeah,
have
he
a
was at
life
a building across the
working. You
way.
know,
He was at a building across the way somehow, and also my understanding too is that Trump had asked for more security detail during this cycle, during the election cycle this year, and it was denied that request, and so was RFK. So
that's
this
the
is
bullshit right
obviously,
there.
yeah,
That's
this
the
was very
bullshit
well
right
known. Um, they had RFK on earlier on Newsbacks, and he was talking about that specifically. And yeah, overall, I don't know what's going to come of this situation. People are going to speculate throughout the next couple of days, if not weeks, of what really happened. Yeah, I mean, it's what I don't understand is how is it the person that actually tried to assassinate Reagan within 2 hours we knew his name, but yet we still don't know the name of the guy that did this, or at least I don't know if they've released it since we've gone live. But if anybody in the comment section can pull that up, I'd like to know. But as of right now, it's like, how did we know about Reagan's attempt at, assassination attempt? We knew the name within 2 hours, and yet here we are, what, after midnight, and as far as I'm concerned, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Okay. Sean Henry says Dan Bongino called for the resignation of the Secret Service. Yeah, I did hear that. I listened to his 20-minute episode that Dan Bongino put out while I was
I have not had a chance to listen to it.
making dinner. Yeah, and Dan Bongino is like, because Dan Bongino, if you don't know who that is, he actually used to work for the Secret Service and he's served under multiple presidents.
Yeah.
And he's like, it was interesting trying to listen to him give a breakdown of what happened best he could without giving away too many secrets of how they actually handle
Right.
these particular things. So I know that he's got a lot of inside knowledge to how the inner workings of the Secret Service is supposed to operate, and for him to call for the resignation of the Secret Service, the leader of the Secret Service, that holds a lot of weight. It holds a lot
Isn't
of weight.
she an into female?
Yes, as far as I know, yeah. He said she, so I'm assuming yes, it's a female.
She was the one I read up on earlier that her former employee was Pepsi, I think it was Pepsi Cola or something like that. Or yeah,
I don't
find
know
her
the
on
details.
X if you can.
Yeah, I don't know the details on her, but from what Bongino was saying was it something to do with the fact that she was letting her stuff get political and whatnot, and that shouldn't play into the job, and she shouldn't be posting stuff
No.
like that. It should, and that does it holds sway on how you do your job. It really does. You can't, you got to remain completely unbiased in these
Well, as
positions.
unbiased as possible, but yeah,
Right.
I mean it's
I
hard
know.
to
I
do
know.
right now. But
Yeah, for sure. I'm again. I'm just so concerned about what's going to happen the next few days. Uh,
I don't think it's that. I think I just find it interesting. This was done just before the RNC too, so that was interesting. And apparently, reports been going out. I saw Candace Owens mention something about Trump was supposed to still attend a UFC fight tonight. I don't know how much truth there is behind that, but I did see that pop across my feed. I'm thinking, how cool and badass would that be for Trump to show up at a UFC fight after taking a fucking bullet to the ear? Like
no,
that
that's
dude
a
would have scored
badass. That's
so
a badass.
many points.
I saw on the video you could hear him go, hold on, because he knew that moment would be a huge moment in as far as snapshots and sound bites, right? He says he
Oh
tells
man,
it.
he's
Hold on.
he's been
He
in
goes and
entertainment long enough to know that.
he puts his fist in there like this is nah, hell no. I'm not going out like that.
Did you see the video that Kid Rock posted? Pull up Kid Rock and watch that video.
Oh, Kid Rock posted something
Yeah,
here.
yeah, he gave us his thoughts on what happened today, and I thought it was rather interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, let me find it. Was it on
yeah. If you think I got pissed off and heated about how I felt during this whole situation, you ought to take a look at this man. We'll probably hear a lot more from him too.
well, what we have right now is some highly pissed off people, and it doesn't appear he's posted on here recently, so it's going to be
You might have
somewhere
to go
else.
over to Facebook. I think it was Facebook that I had seen it, but I thought it was X. I could be wrong.
Okay, can you give us
It was.
rundown?
Uh,
Can you give us the general?
Basically, it said if you fuck with Trump or something or another, you fuck with me or some shit like that. Because him and Trump are very close. So,
Oh,
um, yeah, it's basically just Kid Rock without a shirt on.
I got it. I gotta pull it up here, but I got it. Sharing screen. Share this tab. There we go. Hey, look at that. Kid Rock without a shirt. All right, let's play it.
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me.
Yeah, he might have been a little hot, I'd say. That's
Yeah.
why he doesn't have a shirt on.
But this is a perfect example, and what I've kind of ranted about earlier is it's not just me, and it's not just Kid Rock. There's a vast majority of the population that feel this way, and that is what's concerning because I can still be level-headed. I can have my moments to where I get pissed off at people or say things, and I mean we're all guilty of that. I mean, come on, that's just part of the human experience. But also at the same time too, it's like that was the straw that broke the camel's back was what happened today. People have had enough, and it's been building, and then boom, here we are today. What is tomorrow going to look like? What is next week going to look like? What is the actual election going to look like? Um, that is something. We are in a situation where we have never charted these waters before, and I understand what you're saying. It's a scary situation to be in. If I have any advice for people, if you believe in a Second Amendment, keep one close. There's a lot of crazy people out there. I keep my firearm on me at all times, unless I'm in certain places. But for the most part, I do protect myself and my family. And I think right now that's given the nature of the current social environment and political climate we're in right now. I think a lot of people just need to arm themselves. There's a lot of crazy people out there, and this isn't the first time a former president or president's been assassinated or an attempt was done. I think that's just one of those things where, if I had any advice to give people is hey, if you're responsible and if you're level-headed, maybe more than me, protect yourself at all costs, you and your family. Things are going to get a little dicey, I think, leading up to the election. We've warned people about this for the last couple of years, and we try our best to get that message out there as civilized as possible. But YouTube and other social media algorithms don't like what we have to say, and that's something that we've always encountered. We've always been shadow banned. That is very, very much well documented. So for the ones that do get the opportunity to see this video, do your due diligence. Look after yourself and just be vigilant.
So this particular, this is fully speculation. I cannot vouch for this information, so take it with a grain of salt. Things are still early. We need to take our time to figure out who this was. But people are saying the Butler police identified Donald Trump shooter as Antifa member Mark Violets. There are reports that the Trump attempt assassin is an Italian YouTuber, Antifa member. These are a few videos from his social media accounts.
Yeah.
Um,
I look, dude, I'm not going to go down that road.
That
I
doesn't.
wouldn't be surprised either, but not on this channel are we going to say that who it was. But
That don't look like the same picture.
no, I told Becky the same thing. I said the picture of the guy on the roof with a hole in his head and the picture that you saw right there, it's not, to me, it didn't look like the same two people. So
yeah.
It's unfortunate if we don't still have a name, if the FBI or somebody haven't released a name yet.
Let me put it this way. I'm not going to show it because there's a bunch of pictures of whatever, but I scrolled down. I just typed in on Twitter, Trump assassin Antifa. I scrolled down 5 tweets and I got 4 different names of potential.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
So again, I don't, whatever, just take it with a grain of salt, figure it out, wait, find out, But as far as what's going to be happening in the next few days and what people can do to prepare, I like your advice about, being prepared, as far as being armed if you need to be, just in case. Just keep your head on a swivel, pay attention to what's around you. Maybe don't make yourself a target. It's sad, 4 years ago when COVID was going on, I had no problem putting a bumper sticker on my vehicle that said, I'm identifying as vaccinated, right? It was hilarious. People loved it. It pissed people off to the point where it got peeled off a couple times, but that's about the extent of it, right?
Yeah.
But after today, it's almost like, I mean, do you hesitate before putting things to paint a target on your back? Do you hesitate before putting on that Trump hat? Some people will. Some people will.
I would tell conservatives. No, I'd tell conservatives now more than ever, stand your ground, stand up for yourself, shoulders back, stand tall. That's the best way to approach this. Do not let Democrats, do not let the MSN media, don't let any of them intimidate you. You know that you're not a racist. You know you're not a fucking Nazi. You know Trump's not Hitler. You really want to get back at these folks? Fucking walk tall. Be tall. And when you walk that way and you present yourself that way, people are going to fucking move. I'm telling you, dude. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". I'm 300 pounds. When people see me coming, they just naturally move out of the way.
Yep.
Because it's the way I walk, it's the way that I talk, and it's just the way I present myself. It's very intimidating. And when people learn I'm conservative, it's just like, hey man, how you doing? Good, man. How you doing? You're a Democrat? You can go fuck off. that's how I am. I don't apologize for that because I've had enough of this bullshit, dude. And if other conservatives, if other conservatives haven't picked up on that right now, you should. It's okay to tell people to fuck off. It's okay to, just be nice about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how you really got to treat these people. How you got to treat the media.
Respectfully, sir, fuck off.
Seriously, tell them that. Hey, with all due respect, get the fuck out of my way and fuck off and leave it alone. Walk away. Seriously. I mean, when people start to understand that you've had enough, either one of two things are going to happen. They're going to continue to, antagonize you and push you. Hey man, I told you once, fuck off. If you don't do it and you keep getting in my face, we're going to have problems. Let them make that first swing. Because if they do, oh man, I hope you beat the living shit out of them and stop a mud hole in them. That's okay. I am inciting violence a little bit, but only to protect
Yeah,
yourself.
maybe let's not do that. I got a good tip in the comments here. He says
Okay.
if you can't own firearms, he says I will be able to finally after 15 years, thanks Circuit Court. But they do make good air rifles that are good enough to protect your
Yes.
home. But everyone
They do
should have
make
something.
yes, they do make some alternatives, some neutralizing weapons that do look like guns, but they're actually pellets. That's something I forgot the name of the company that makes those, but I do highly encourage that if you're a former felon or a convicted, well, there you go, medieval. Let's get medieval on their ass.
Does this help?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably gonna look at you and be like, I think this motherfucker's just as crazy as I am. But no, seriously, there are other alternatives to
I got
protecting yourself.
I got two of these bitches right beside me.
If you
Like
show
with
up at an Antifa rally, dude, I will hold your hand in support and I will go out guns blazing. So
within
no,
arm's reach. Don't come at me. I'm
right.
gonna go medieval on your ass.
No, but seriously, there's alternatives out there to protect yourself that are considered not firearms, but equivalent to that can neutralize at least a suspect, so you can get out of this situation. I do encourage folks to definitely check that sort of thing out. But again,
Okay.
I'm not really trying to incentivize any kind of violence or people to act out, a certain way. That's not what I'm calling for. I really just want conservatives to stand tall, be proud of what you are. This shit with calling us Nazis and racist, that ain't true. Don't let that shit fucking doesn't matter no more, dude. I mean, it's just been so overused. It's like water off my back, dude. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck ever, dude. You're an idiot. Your IQ level is about a 12. I mean, come on. It's what it is. It is, dude. I mean, you're a racist. You're a Nazi. What proof do you have? Because you
What do you,
don't.
what do you say we wrap up with a couple of additional headlines that they still won't say it? The AP, we already got that one. Hold on, we got that one. We didn't get this one. Trump escorted away. This is the Washington Post. Trump
Yeah.
escorted away after loud noises at Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Loud.
Because it gets
Whoa!
loud at rallies. Yay!
Yeah,
Support Donald
anybody that
Trump.
didn't know what's going on is gonna and they're I honestly, this is one of those things that you're going to hear about it. So it's not like the people who read the Washington Post are going into this unprepared. So I hope when people see this, it at least helps break them out of the brainwashing just enough, because they've looked at that and gone, come on, you guys, come on.
They're
At least
fucking idiots, man.
like
I swear to
had the
God.
Trump escort away after loud noises. Oh my God, was there a loud noise? Is he a pussy? Why did he run away from loud noises? Like, you gotta be ridiculous. You gotta be kidding me right now. So, from CNN Politics, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Oh my God. So make it sound like the old guy is just, not able to stand up on his own 2 feet. He's a klutz. So Secret Service clearly rushed him off. That's the only reason. Duh. Mm. And the last one, MSNBC, Secret Service, Donald Trump safe after popping sounds heard at rally. Like somebody just had a
Hey,
extra poppers from their July 4th celebration. They brought them and just tossed them in the air, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's a popper!"
I really wanted to give these motherfuckers the benefit of the doubt after they called the debate what it was. Like I thought they started to come around just a little bit,
I
and then they
know.
go off and pull this dumb shit. It's
No,
like
no,
you people are fucking Nah, I can't say that word. You people are dumb. That's all you are.
they're
It's
stuck
just
between a
you're
rock and a
fucking
hard place.
stupid.
They're stuck in between a rock and a hard place right now, because their overlords have told them they must now go against Biden, but they also have in their programming to go against Trump. So what is an innocent paper like the Washington Post supposed to do in this case? Whatever shall we do? We have the classic dilemma here. This is exactly, definitionally speaking, a classic dilemma for them.
And I was having a little bit of fun with this earlier when I started seeing these articles all over the place, especially over on X. I'd get on there and just be like, you people are fucking dumb. You're dumb. You're stupid. How in the fuck do you even have a job? How are these people still in business? How? Because people just keep writing them off and let them write whatever it is they want to write.
Because they're not paid by their viewers and subscribers. They're not paid by them. They're paid by their wealthy donors. They're paid by the people who advertise with them. They have no incentive to actually deliver good quality content to the end user. That's just not a thing.
If there was ever a time where I didn't give a shit or give a fuck about things that are going on in the world, man, it's a good time to be alive. Because I don't. I really I can't tell you how much I just don't care no more. And not at the fact of what happened, but towards Democrats. And I want to close out on this.
Sure.
I was very much open to the idea of having that discourse as we talked about earlier on this program,
Mhm.
and trying to meet halfway with liberals and Democrats alike. Right. I really wanted that. Okay. That was something that we kind of made a priority on this show for the last 6, almost 7 years now. And I thought really we were going to make some headway with that. I thought maybe people could have a discourse and maybe listen to the opposite side. And we may not agree, but you know what? At least we came into this and left this conversation peacefully. And maybe something may have changed our mind, but that's never happened. I'm okay with living in this echo chamber that is the Conservative Party. I don't like a lot of what goes on in the Conservative Party and how we approach things and how we've gotten to this point. Um, but outside of that, I think right now more than ever, we need to stick with each other, fellow patriots, fellow conservatives. We need to look out for one another. The left is going to do what it wants, regardless of how much we talk and how much discourse we want to have with them. It's
Right.
not going to change the course in which they want to go. They're very selfish. They're narcissists. They're hypocrites. We know all that about them. If the conservatives really want to come out on top here, I told y'all, stand tall, be proud of what you are and who you are and what you represent. It's flawed, yes, and it's got its challenges and it's up and downs, and not everything is perfect with the conservatives, but we are in a better place than the leftists right now. And as long as we understand that, we have the opportunity to save this country from where it's at, and hopefully come November we can move it to a better place.
Well said, man. Well said. I suppose we'll just keep people updated on the
Yeah.
latest as it happens. If you want to follow Anthony on his Facebook, Twitter, what have you, want to give him that information
Oh
where they
yeah,
can.
I mean, you can find me on any socials. It's basically my first and last name, Anthony Trewick. I'm not worried about being doxxed. That obviously, as you can tell, use my full name, so it is out there. It's just Anthony Trewick. You can find me on X. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Those are the main three that I'm currently on. So
Right on. And I have our handles down below, so you can also find me at Unframe of Mind on all social media platforms. I just stay tuned. I'm gonna post as much as I can. I'm trying to actually only share stuff that's real, as best as I can. I'm not in the business of spreading around false information and just getting letting my emotions get in the way. But this is one of
that
those.
would be me.
Yeah, that would be Anthony. So this is one of those instances where I did get emotional about this, insofar as concern about my own family and making sure we're prepared for whatever is to come. We don't know what's going to
Hey,
happen, but hopefully,
we're good.
hopefully it goes over and we just come back. We win in the election. Come November, and then I don't know. I don't. There's got to be some price to pay for this. Somebody's got to suffer the consequences. I just don't know how that's.
It's a dark time, but during dark times, there's always a light, and things will get better. And unfortunately, this is what we got to go through. Hopefully, we learn from this and we move forward, and we don't repeat ourselves. That's the purpose of growing, and hopefully, we can do that.
Yes, sir. All right. You guys have
So,
been watching another episode of the Unframe of Mind show where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom, or at least we attempt to have uncomfortable conversations without a condom. If you are on the left and you want to talk about this particular subject, we still will extend the invite. You're still welcome to come and talk.
now,
If
hang on a sec. Hang on.
I
Hang on.
can't
Hang on.
promise Anthony's going to be nice,
No,
but
no. I actually won't attend that conversation. If you want to have that discourse with them, by all means, do so. But I have to draw the line, dude. It's just you know me, when I'm hard pressed on something, I stick with it, and this is currently where I'm at. We can
Nope,
revisit that later on, but as of right now, that's not the
I
course I want to
gotcha.
go.
I'm convinced there's still some left wingers out there that are not total nut fuck crazies, that do. And
If you supported, if you
I'm
support,
not talking
I
hard left. I'm not talking, the crazy Antifa
no,
left.
no, I'm not. No, that's any Democrat, Republican, or not Republican, but liberal. No, I just not right now. No,
No, I got you. I got you.
they
So
they, they need to get their shit in order over there before they come over here and talk to me. That's where I'm at with it. So.
that's I understand. I'm
Yeah.
not going to force you into it. That's for sure. I
No,
can't make you.
but I mean, I hope you have that. I hope you get those people on here. You have that discourse, and you guys talk about whatever. But I mean, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but it's not going to do any good right now. It's just
No,
not. Emotions are too high. People are just too strung out with everything going on. People are concerned about inflation, how they're going to feed their families, pay their mortgage, their car note, their credit cards. It, it I, hey, you do your thing, bro.
no, I
I
got
love
you.
you for it.
I got you, homie.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in a weird place though. I know we were trying to close the show out, but I'm stuck in a weird place though because I have a lot of. I'm not left or right. I don't have a political home. I
I
don't.
know.
I can't have a political home just based on my principles and morals. So I'm kind of like, okay, well, I don't have a tribe that I can just kind of like hide behind and remain protected by necessarily.
Well, here's the thing, dude.
Just let me finish.
Regardless,
Let me
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
I suffer the consequences for it insofar as when I do disagree with people on one side or the other. I catch hell for it, and I've actually lost friends over it. As
I have
even
too.
as recent, even recently, just but it's like I can't like let you say dumb shit and just not say something.
Right.
Maybe that's a weakness on my part. I don't know. Maybe I should just go along to get along a little more often than I do. But oh well, I'll figure it out. I'll find my way in this crazy world.
Hey, man, as long as we got each other, I'm conservative, you're an atheist. I mean,
Right?
look at the relation. No, hey, hey,
Anarchy,
hang on a
anarchy.
second. I know we've been trying to close this show out for the last hour, but let me tell you, you and I
Yes.
have had this relationship that if a lot of people saw what we had and can foster something from that, this world genuinely would be in a much better place. Seriously, dude.
Yeah.
You and I disagree on
Likewise. I
certain
agree.
things,
100%. I
huh?
agree.
But
100%.
we have to remind ourselves not everybody is got a friendship like ours, and that's okay, but they
Yeah.
only see the surface level of what we put out on social media or on YouTube, and that's fine. But when you talked about not having that circle, I mean, you've always got it with me. I mean, that doesn't go anywhere just because it's political or social. It's
Oh,
just,
no, no, yeah, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to imply that I don't, like, have a circle of friends. I'm just saying in terms of, like, a political home, I don't that's not a thing for me. It's just
well,
not.
just go to San Francisco and be with the rest of the fucking bums. You'll be all right. There
That's
you
a good
go.
move. That's a good move. I like that. Alright. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna end the stream now.